Oh, it finally happened. The day boxing fans prayed for, and chaos merchants like us lived for. Floyd "Money" Mayweather just called out Jake Paul, and not in a friendly, let's spar for views way. In a, you just disrespected the sport kind of way. Reports are saying Mayweather snapped behind the scenes, accusing Jake of ruining the fight.
So how do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
I mean, what he's doing is, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money, and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
That was supposed to be the biggest crossover event since Mike Tyson met TikTok. And the way this man dragged Jake, it made the ring look like a confessional booth. The tension has been simmering for months, but this latest blow-up makes the Kardashians' Thanksgiving drama look like Sunday school. Apparently, Jake showed up late, changed contracts mid-week, and threw influencer energy all over Mayweather's old-school empire. And Floyd wasn't having it. You can't mess with the undefeated legacy and walk away untouched. Now, with leaked audio, angry managers, and cryptic tweets, the internet's exploding like a malfunctioning pay-per-view stream. Fans are screaming betrayal, promoters are scrambling, and Logan Paul's in the corner pretending he didn't start this war. This isn't a fight anymore. It's a generational earthquake. And Floyd Mayweather, he's not punching gloves, he's punching reputations. When Floyd Mayweather talks, the world doesn't just listen, it stops breathing. But when he snaps, social media melts faster than Jake Paul's boxing credibility after round 3. The money man himself, the undefeated, undisputed, self-proclaimed king of combat sports, just went nuclear on Jake Paul. And this time, it wasn't for promo. This was personal. This was surgical revenge.
At the time, people badly wanted you and Jake Paul to fight. Is he someone you're interested in or no?
Well, if you go back, you got to do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He said, I'm only doing real fights. Now, of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's gonna be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money. And
It all started when rumors spread that Jake Paul had tampered with negotiations ahead of what was supposed to be the biggest exhibition fight of the year. According to inside sources, Jake pulled a classic influencer move, demanding his name be listed before Mayweather's on the fight card. You heard that right. A man with 5 losses in his pro career wanted top billing over a legend who hasn't lost since dial-up internet. It was like a YouTuber trying to headline the Grammys over Beyoncé. Floyd reportedly laughed it off at first, but once Jake's team started leaking footage, mocking Floyd's age, and calling the fight a charity event for the elderly, the gloves came off. The next day, the GOAT of trash talk didn't tweet. He detonated. In a leaked phone call that sounded like a mix between a mob warning and a motivational speech, Mayweather allegedly told promoters, "If that clown wants to play, I'll make sure he never steps in another ring again." Fans were divided. Half of them screamed, "Legend protecting the sport," while the other half chanted, "Floyd scared of YouTubers." But let's be real, Floyd doesn't fear people with ring lights and brand deals. This man fought Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor, and Father Time, and still came out undefeated. Jake Paul, he's still fighting his own ego. Then came the trigger moment. A press leak from an anonymous promoter claiming Jake Paul sabotaged the event by ghosting the final media appearance, allegedly because he wanted to control the storyline. Floyd, a man who built an empire off controlling every narrative from the ticket sales to the lighting, was furious. He reportedly told his camp, "This isn't a circus, it's boxing, and I don't share my spotlight with amateurs." But Jake wasn't backing down. Hours later, he posted a cryptic TikTok with a caption that said, "Legends fade, influencers trend." The arrogance was louder than a ring bell. Fans flooded his comments with clown emojis, but the damage was done. Floyd's empire, built on respect, precision, and dominance, had been publicly mocked by a guy who once lost a fight to KSI's brother. That's when Floyd's inner businessman switched off, and the street fighter from Grand Rapids came out. In a private call that later leaked to a sports podcast, Floyd reportedly said, "He's not a fighter. He's a marketer. He don't love this game. He uses it." And that one line hit harder than a right hook. Because in that moment, every purist in the boxing world stood up and clapped. Meanwhile, promoters were panicking. Sponsors threatened to pull out. The fight, which was supposed to be worth tens of millions, started falling apart in real time. Mayweather's camp accused Jake's team of unprofessional behavior, while Jake's side claimed Floyd's ego couldn't handle the spotlight shift. It was like watching two Hollywood divas fight over the last mirror. And just when things couldn't get messier, leaked footage surfaced of Floyd walking out of a private meeting, visibly furious, muttering, "He ruined it. The boy ruined the whole damn fight." The clip went viral before his car even pulled out of the lot. The internet exploded with theories. Did Jake back out? Did Floyd cancel? Was there a secret altercation? Nobody knew, and that made it even juicier. ESPN tried to play it safe, calling it creative differences. TMZ, of course, called it the greatest meltdown since Kanye at the Grammys. Fans called it war, and every social media page became a virtual fight club, half defending Jake's new era approach, half bowing to Floyd's untouchable record. And you know what? Floyd wasn't done. Later that night, he went live. And when Floyd Mayweather goes live, the internet freezes like a deer in headlights. He looked straight at the camera, eyes sharp, voice calm but lethal. "You'll think boxing's a joke now. People playing dress up in the ring, acting like this sport is content. I built this with blood, not thumbnails." Boom. The man dropped verbal nukes with the precision of a jab. That quote alone went viral. It was posted on sports pages, meme accounts, even college debate groups. Within 24 hours, "not thumbnails" became a trending hashtag, a symbolic jab at every influencer trying to turn combat sports into clickbait. Floyd had drawn a line in the sand, and he wasn't crossing it. But behind the swagger and the billionaire talk, there was real frustration. People close to Mayweather revealed that the entire ordeal wasn't just about ego, it was about principle. Floyd had spent decades crafting his image as boxing's perfectionist. Every move calculated, every punch planned, every dollar earned through sweat. Watching Jake Paul walk in with his podcast mic and energy drink sponsorships felt like watching someone spray graffiti on the Mona Lisa. Meanwhile, Jake saw it differently. To him, Floyd was gatekeeping an industry that needed chaos. He told reporters, "I respect the man, but he's old school. The internet changed the game. I'm just the one brave enough to admit it." Brave? Maybe. Dumb? Definitely. Because when you publicly call Floyd Mayweather old news, you don't start a conversation, you start an avalanche, and that avalanche rolled fast. Within hours, ex-boxers, trainers, and analysts started taking sides. Some praised Jake for bringing attention back to boxing, while others said he was bringing embarrassment to the ring. Floyd's former training partner even chimed in, saying, "Jake's not the future, he's a glitch." That line went viral too. Memes flooded Twitter showing Jake photoshopped into error screens, with captions like 404, "Boxing legacy not found." The internet was eating him alive, and he didn't even realize it. What made the situation even more explosive was the timing. The fight was supposed to mark Floyd's final exhibition before retiring for good. This was meant to be his grand encore, his victory lap. Instead, it turned into a PR brawl that made both camps look unstable. Floyd, the man who turned boxing into a billion-dollar empire, was being dragged into the same digital swamp he used to laugh at. And through it all, Jake kept trolling. He released a diss track snippet on Instagram with the line, "Money talks, but legacy whispers." It was corny, sure, but it caught fire. Even non-boxing fans jumped in for the drama. Suddenly, this wasn't about sports anymore. It was about clout, control, and the collision of two eras, the old guard versus the algorithm. By the time mainstream news picked it up, Floyd's name was trending next to "retire already," and Jake's was trending next to "ruined boxing." Irony had officially become the referee. The boxing world had seen rivalries before, Tyson versus Holyfield, Ali versus Frazier, but nothing like this. This wasn't about punches. It was about pride, pixels, and who controlled the narrative. Floyd wanted legacy, Jake wanted likes, and somewhere between those two, the sport itself got sucker punched. And just when you thought the feud had peaked, the receipts started dropping. Real ones, DMs, voice notes, leaked meeting footage. The truth was about to make things uglier than a bruised eye after round 12. By sunrise the next morning,
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched them weigh in, I want to say it was like...
By sunrise the next morning, the boxing world had turned into a meme battlefield. Every platform was drenched in chaos, with clips, leaks, and exclusive exposés dropping faster than punches in a Mayweather combo. What should have been a promotional build-up had mutated into a full-blown digital war zone, and both, Floyd and Jake, were firing shots without gloves. Floyd's camp leaked a series of behind-the-scenes voice notes that sounded like they belonged in an HBO documentary. In one of them, Floyd's longtime associate said, "The man disrespected boxing. He's turning the sport into a YouTube thumbnail." That line hit like a knockout. Within minutes, fans were posting split-screen memes of Floyd counting stacks of cash, while Jake posed in thumbnails with fake bruises and Photoshop filters. The internet had officially crowned this beef as money versus memes. Meanwhile, Jake Paul was on his own delusional PR tour, acting like the chaos was part of his master plan. He tweeted, "If the legends are mad, it means you're doing something right." "Yeah, because apparently disrespect is the new discipline," replied with one word, "No." That no echoed through sports Twitter like a mic drop from a god. Jake was trying to turn the biggest boxing event of the year into a cross-promotion for his YouTube single. That wasn't confidence, it was clout addiction. But the real explosion came when Floyd himself decided to respond. Not through PR, not through press, but through pure energy. He walked into a Vegas gym, surrounded by cameras, and said, "If this kid thinks he can ruin my fight, he got another thing coming. I don't do viral, I do victory." The crowd lost it. That line became the headline of the week, and even ESPN anchors couldn't stop quoting it. The internet divided instantly. On one side, the OG fight fans were screaming that Floyd was finally defending the purity of boxing. On the other, Jake's army of Gen Z followers claimed Floyd was gatekeeping success. One fan commented, "Jake Paul is bringing new eyes to boxing," while another fired back, "Yeah, new eyes that don't know how a jab works." By that afternoon, the drama was no longer confined to Twitter. Logan Paul jumped into the mix like a firefighter throwing gasoline. During his podcast, he laughed, saying, "Floyd's just mad because we're the future of entertainment." That one sentence made boxing historians age a decade in real time. Floyd clapped back hours later with a single Instagram caption, "I retired undefeated. You retired to YouTube." The caption alone had more power than any left hook Jake had ever thrown. Sports media ran wild. Every outlet, from Bleacher Report to Barstool, was dissecting the feud like it was a heavyweight conspiracy. They played Floyd's old highlights on loop next to Jake's influencer stunts, and the contrast was laughable. On one screen, you had Mayweather dodging punches with the grace of a chess player. On the other, Jake Paul was shadowboxing next to a ring light. And just when the internet thought it had seen everything, a leaked video dropped showing Jake mocking Floyd during a backstage rehearsal. He was seen mimicking Floyd's defensive moves, yelling, "Look, I'm Mayweather. I only fight guys smaller than me." That clip exploded. Within minutes, Floyd's name trended in 40 countries. Fans demanded that he teach this kid a real lesson. In true Mayweather fashion, he didn't rush to respond. He let the fire burn, then poured gasoline. During a surprise appearance at a Miami press conference, Floyd took the mic and delivered a masterclass in verbal destruction. See, Jake don't want to fight, he want to film. I've been rich since before he learned to spell money. He's a show. I'm a legacy, that was it. The crowd went berserk. The internet melted. And Jake? He went radio silent for a few hours, which in influencer time feels like an eternity. But when he came back, it was with a tweet that said, "Old men get mad when new kings show up." Fans groaned so hard you could hear it across continents. Every reaction from here got wilder. Rappers, actors, and even ex-athletes chimed in. 50 Cent, never missing a chance to troll Floyd, posted a meme saying, "Jake might not last in the ring, but he's winning on Wi-Fi." Meanwhile, Snoop Dogg jumped into the comments with, "Y'all need to settle this with gloves, not tweets." It felt less like a sports feud and more like a celebrity group chat that escaped into the public. By midweek, leaked footage of a closed-door promoter meeting hit the web. The video showed Mayweather's reps accusing Jake of undermining the fight's credibility. One of the producers even said, "He turned it into a circus." Floyd doesn't do circus, he sells arenas. That phrase became another meme, with fans posting photos of Jake juggling boxing gloves under neon lights. And just when people thought Floyd would back down, he did the opposite. Late that night, he posted a cryptic black and white video. No music. No captions, just Floyd sitting ringside, wrapping his hands, muttering, "Respect is earned, not uploaded." The video hit 10 million views in 6 hours. Comment sections were flooded with legend energy. Meanwhile, Jake tried to keep his momentum going by dropping a flashy vlog titled "My Response to Floyd." The video was everything wrong with influencer culture: drone shots, fake deep monologues, and a scene where he trained shirtless under lightning graphics. But the internet wasn't buying it. One top comment summed it up perfectly. "Bro, you're not Apollo Creed. You're the Wi-Fi version." Floyd's fans, however, were on a mission. They flooded timelines with his career stats. 50-0, 0 knockouts received, billions earned. Jake's fans replied with memes and "but he's relevant now" posts. It was the clash of two worlds. Discipline versus drama. Tradition versus trending topics. And somehow, both were winning. Then came the most outrageous twist yet. An anonymous insider claimed that during negotiations, Jake tried to rewrite parts of the fight's marketing strategy, suggesting the tagline be "the legacy versus the algorithm." Floyd allegedly laughed so hard, he walked out of the meeting. When that leak hit the internet, the reactions were pure gold. One user wrote, "This man really thinks he's Neo from The Matrix. Even major sports figures couldn't resist." Mike Tyson chimed in on a podcast saying, "Jake's brave, but you don't play with greatness like that. That's not a fight. That's a funeral." The quote went viral overnight. The internet didn't know if it was a warning or a prophecy. At this point, the drama had transcended the sport itself. It wasn't just about punches or paychecks anymore. It was about the future of fame. Floyd Mayweather represented legacy, control, precision. Jake Paul represented chaos, disruption, and digital noise. And as the feud exploded across every corner of the web, one truth became undeniable. This wasn't boxing anymore. It was culture warfare. And in that ring, only one could walk away undefeated. By the time the smoke started to clear, this wasn't a boxing story anymore. It was a global morality play. The line between athlete and influencer had officially blurred into chaos, and the whole world was watching Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul throw verbal jabs like it was the final round of civilization itself. The backlash hit like an uppercut. Sports analysts called it the most embarrassing chapter in boxing since the ear bite. Legendary fighters, promoters, and even Vegas bookies started picking sides. Some defended Floyd as the last real soldier in a digital circus, while others said he was too sensitive to handle a social media generation that thrives on disrespect. Either way, one thing was clear. Jake Paul had successfully infiltrated the last sacred temple of sports, Mayweather's pride. Floyd wasn't built for online drama. His whole career had been about precision. Hit, move, win, repeat. But this was chaos disguised as strategy. Every time he tried to restore order, Jake Paul dropped another meme. Floyd's team released a statement calling Jake a distraction to the sport. Jake replied by posting a video of himself shadowboxing in front of a framed Mayweather poster with the caption, "Distraction. Nah, I'm the attraction." The audacity alone should have come with a penalty. Fans were losing it. TikTok turned the feud into a 24-hour reality show. You had conspiracy theories claiming Floyd secretly liked the publicity, while others swore Jake was using AI-generated drama to stay relevant. Even Netflix allegedly sniffed around, pitching a documentary called Legacy vs. Likes. Imagine that. The man who fought for belts now fighting for bandwidth. But the real breaking point came when Floyd's old mentor spoke publicly. In an exclusive interview, he said, "Floyd's biggest mistake was letting this kid think they were equals. You can't spar with clowns and expect confetti." That one sentence cut deeper than a body shot. Suddenly, the narrative flipped again. The internet that once mocked Floyd started defending him, calling Jake's antics a stain on the sport. Still, Floyd wasn't done proving a point. He announced a press conference. No smoke, no drama, no leaks, just straight talk. But of course, Jake crashed it. Like a scene from a Netflix script, Jake showed up uninvited, flashing his camera crew like a badge. He stormed in with that signature smirk. And before security could intervene, he said, "You're welcome for keeping you relevant, champ." Floyd froze for a second, then smiled. That cold, slow, dangerous Mayweather smile. "Son," he said calmly, "you're talking to the man who made history while you were making thumbnails." The room gasped. Cameras clicked. Jake tried to fire back, but the crowd drowned him out with chants of "Floyd! Floyd! Floyd!" It was over. One verbal counterpunch from the master, and Jake Paul's entire new era just got humbled live on air. The clip spread faster than the knockout in Floyd's highlight reel. Thumbnails versus titles became the internet's favorite new debate. Fans joked that Floyd had finally KO'd a YouTuber without throwing a punch. Even mainstream media picked it up. CNN ran the headline, "Mayweather reclaims the ring," with words. But in the shadows of victory, Floyd dropped a quote that nobody expected. During a backstage interview, he said, "He didn't ruin boxing, he exposed it." And that line sent chills through the entire sports world. For the first time, Mayweather admitted what nobody wanted to say. The sport had changed. Boxing wasn't dying because of Jake Paul. It was evolving into something darker, louder, and more viral. And more viral. In a strange twist, that single line made Floyd sound less like a bitter legend and more like a prophet. Fans started rewatching old interviews, realizing that for years, Floyd had warned everyone about fake fighters chasing fame. Now they were living in it. The digital circus he once mocked had come full circle, and he was standing in the middle of it, still undefeated, still rich, but maybe a little disillusioned. Meanwhile, Jake Paul tried to recover the narrative. He released a staged video where he apologized to Floyd, saying, "I just wanted to bring eyes to the sport." But his tone was pure performance. Within 30 seconds, he broke into a self-promotional monologue about his upcoming NFT project. The internet wasn't fooled. Comments flooded in like punches. "Bro can't even fake sincerity." In a poetic twist of fate, the sponsors began pulling out, not from Floyd, but from Jake. Energy drink brands, crypto partners, even streaming services started quietly distancing themselves. One PR rep reportedly said he crossed from controversy into clownery. For someone who built his empire on hype, silence from sponsors was the loudest hit he'd ever taken. Floyd, on the other hand, capitalized like the businessman he's always been. He announced a new Respect the Ring campaign, a docuseries celebrating boxing's legacy. Within days, streaming platforms were bidding for it like it was the next last dance. Suddenly, the man accused of being too old school was trending again, not because of a fight, but because of foresight. Still, the feud left its scars. Public perception had shifted. Boxing purists saw Floyd as the guardian of the sport, while younger fans viewed Jake as the rebel who broke the gates. And like any good rivalry, neither side truly won. They just redefined the game. Floyd proved that legacy doesn't need Wi-Fi to stay relevant, and Jake proved that controversy prints faster than pay-per-view tickets. In the end, their names became permanently linked, not by punches, but by history. The legend and the loudmouth, the strategist and the showman. the empire and the algorithm. They didn't fight in a ring. They fought for control of an entire generation's attention span. And if you think this story is over, you clearly don't know how the internet works. Because every time Floyd posts a throwback photo, Jake's fans swarm the comments. Every time Jake uploads a training clip, someone comments, "Floyd lives rent-free." Their rivalry became immortal, etched in memes, headlines, and endless reaction videos. It wasn't just a fight, it was a cultural reset, so maybe Floyd was right after all. Maybe Jake didn't ruin boxing. Maybe he revealed what it's become, a sport, a spectacle, and a storyline. A never-ending circus where the loudest man wins the mic, but the smartest man keeps the money. And when it comes to money, there's only one king, and his name is still Floyd "Money" Mayweather. And there you have it, a feud so wild it made Vegas shut down, the internet explode, and boxing fans question reality itself. Floyd Mayweather didn't just clap back, he rewrote the script, dropped the mic, and left Jake Paul standing there like a Wi-Fi signal in a thunderstorm. The legend versus the loudmouth, the empire versus the algorithm, the man who earned his billions versus the man who uploaded his fame. But let's be real, this saga ain't over, oh no. Because Jake Paul's ego doesn't do retirement, it reloads. Somewhere right now, that man's plotting his next headline, next stunt, next epic comeback, probably with a thumbnail screaming, "Mayweather screamed at me in private." And when it drops, guess who's gonna be here to break it down with the receipts, the roast, and the real tea? That's right, the punch press. Your one-way ticket to every knockout controversy and entertainment. So if you live for drama that punches harder than the fighters themselves, smash that like button like it owes you pay-per-view money. Drop a comment with your wildest take. Who really won? The legacy or the live stream? And don't you dare leave without subscribing, because here, every scandal lands like a haymaker. Hit that bell so hard, YouTube files a complaint. Because in this ring, there are no rules, only rematches, rumors, and receipts. This is the Punch Press signing off, where we don't pull punches, we drop headlines. Stay sharp, stay reckless, and remember, in a world full of clickbait boxers, Floyd's still the only one undefeated in cash and class. Cash and class.